She shouted, "It's not cheating if it's with a woman." I just nodded and said, "Got it." 2 weeks later, I invited her and her friend to dinner. The mood changed when my date arrived, her friend's ex-husband. I, 28 male, am sitting here with the weirdest friendship origin story ever. But let me start from the beginning because this whole thing is wild. My girlfriend Bianca, 27, and I had been together for 4 years, living together for 2. Things were solid, or so I thought. We split bills, had our routines, talked about maybe getting married next year. Normal couple stuff. About 3 months ago, Bianca started hanging out with this woman from her yoga class, Jasmine, 29F. Cool, whatever, she needs friends. But the hangouts got intense, like multiple times a week, coming home at 2 a.m., constantly texting intense. Red flags started popping up everywhere. Bianca would be glued to her phone, smiling at texts, then flip it face down when I walked by. She'd get defensive if I asked about her plans. Just hanging with Jas became her default response to everything. One evening, I came home early from work with a migraine. Walked into our apartment to find Bianca and Jasmine on our couch, not just sitting close, but like, intimately close. Jasmine's hand was in Bianca's hair. They were staring at each other in that way, you know? They jumped apart when they saw me. Me, what's going on here? Nothing, we're just talking. Jasmine grabbed her stuff and practically ran out. Bianca immediately went on the offensive. "Why are you home? You're supposed to be at work." "I have a migraine, but that's not the question here." "What was that?" "That was nothing. You're being paranoid." I let it go that night, but I wasn't stupid. Started paying attention more. Bianca would come home with her lipstick smudged, hair messy. She'd shower immediately, even if she'd showered that morning. The credit card statements showed charges at restaurants I'd never heard of, movie tickets for 2 during times she said she was at work. 2 weeks later, I confronted her directly. "Me, are you having an affair with Jasmine?" She actually laughed. "Bianca, an affair? Are you insane?" "Me, you're clearly involved with her romantically." "It's not cheating if it's with a woman. God, grow up, Trevor. It's just girl stuff. It doesn't mean anything." "So you admit something's happening?" "It's not the same. It's not like I'm with another man. This is different. It's just exploring. It doesn't affect us." "It does affect us. You're emotionally and physically involved with someone else. You're so closed-minded. This is why I didn't tell you. I knew you'd freak out over nothing. It's literally just female bonding. You wouldn't understand." "Female bonding involves making out? We're not. You're impossible. It's not cheating. Period. End of discussion." I sat there genuinely stunned by the mental gymnastics. Then I said, "Got it. Crystal clear." She looked relieved, thinking I'd accepted her logic. Finally, see, was that so hard? Over the next few days, I did some digging, found Jasmine's Instagram. Her bio said separated, living my truth. Interesting. Did more searching and found her ex-husband, Nolan. Dude was a personal trainer, seemed normal from his profiles. I reached out to him through Instagram. Just a simple, "Hey, I think we need to talk. My girlfriend is involved with your ex-wife." He responded within an hour. "Bianca? Yeah, I know. Want to grab a beer?" We met up that evening at this sports bar. Nolan was exactly what you'd expect from a personal trainer. Fit, good-looking dude, seemed genuinely nice. Also looked exhausted. "So Jasmine told you it's not cheating because it's with a woman too?" "Wait, she said that to you?" For 6 months before I filed for divorce, she'd disappear with her friend Carla, come home at 3 a.m., lipstick everywhere, and when I confronted her, she'd say I was being controlling and heteronormative, that it wasn't real cheating. What happened with Carla? Jasmine left me for her. They dated for 3 months. Then Carla's actual girlfriend found out, and it exploded. Jasmine came crawling back, but I was done. Divorced her ass. We talked for 3 hours. Compared notes. The patterns were identical. The gaslighting, the excuses, the entitlement. By the end of the night, we'd exchanged numbers and he said something that stuck with me. "You know what's messed up? If we were the ones stepping out, regardless of gender, we'd be crucified. But they've convinced themselves they found a loophole." That's when the idea started forming. Me. What if we gave them a taste of their own medicine? What do you mean? According to their logic, it's not cheating if it's with the same gender, right? Nolan stared at me, then started laughing. You're not suggesting. Me. I'm not gay. You're not gay, but they don't need to know that. We could pretend to date, see how they like their own logic. That's insane. He paused. I'm in. We spent the next week planning, created a believable story we met through a mutual friend, technically true now, bonded over our situations, also true, and feelings developed. Feelings of friendship and revenge, but still. We took some staged photos, nothing inappropriate, just us hanging out, looking friendly. Posted them on Instagram with vague captions. Then I set the trap. Me to Bianca. Hey, I want to have a dinner party Saturday. Will you invite Jasmine? I want to properly meet your friend. Bianca looked suspicious but pleased. Really? You're being supportive? Me. You said it's just friendship. I believe you. I want to be supportive. She practically glowed. Yes, this is perfect. I'll text her now. Saturday arrived. I cooked an elaborate meal, salmon, roasted vegetables, the works. Bianca was in a great mood, thinking I'd finally accepted everything. Jasmine arrived at 7, bottle of wine in hand, looking smug as hell. We sat down for appetizers, making small talk. Then at 7:30 the doorbell rang. Me, oh, that must be my date. You're what? You're what? I opened the door and there was Nolan, looking sharp in a button-down, holding flowers. For me. Nolan, hey babe, sorry I'm late. He handed me the flowers and kissed my cheek. The silence from the dining room was deafening. I walked back in with Nolan. Bianca, Jasmine, this is Nolan. Nolan, you know Jasmine, and this is Bianca. Jasmine went pale. What the hell is this? Nolan, hey Jas, didn't know you'd be here. Perfect delivery, Oscar-worthy. Bianca, this is Jasmine's ex-husband? Trevor, what's going on? What do you mean? This is my boyfriend. We've been seeing each other for about a week now. You're what? It's not cheating, right? It's with a man. According to you, same gender doesn't count. Jasmine stood up. This is sick. You're not gay, Nolan. How would you know what I am? You were too busy with Carla to notice anything about me. Bianca turned to me, fury in her eyes. You're cheating on me to prove a point? Me. Cheating? No. Remember, it's not cheating if it's with the same gender. Those are your rules. That's different. How? Because you're not really gay, and you're not really a lesbian, but here we are. The dinner devolved into chaos. Jasmine accused us of being petty and homophobic. Bianca called me manipulative. They stood there, united in their outrage, completely missing the irony. Finally, I'd had enough. Me. You know what? You're right. This is manipulation. Nolan and I aren't really together. We're just two guys who got cheated on and gaslit by partners who think they found a loophole in monogamy. Nolan, the difference is, we're just pretending. You two are actually cheating and convinced yourselves it doesn't count. It's not the same thing. Me, you're right, it's not, because we were honest about it being fake after an hour. You've been lying for months. I looked at Bianca. Pack your stuff, get out, we're done. Update 1. The fallout was immediate and spectacular. Bianca didn't leave quietly. Oh no, she spent 3 days trying to convince me I was overreacting. The entitlement was off the charts. Day 1. She tried to flip the script, claiming I was the one who cheated by emotionally connecting with Nolan, even though I literally told her it was fake. Day 2. She cried, saying I humiliated her and that she was going to stay with Jasmine temporarily, but we could work through this. I laughed. Actually laughed. Day 3. She brought her sister Denise over for an intervention. Denise, Trevor, Bianca made a mistake, but you publicly embarrassed her. That's abuse. Me, she cheated on me for months and told me it didn't count. That's actual emotional abuse. It's different with women. It's not threatening to your masculinity. My masculinity isn't threatened. My relationship was. You're throwing away 4 years over some experimental phase. She threw away 4 years the moment she decided her affair didn't count. They finally left when I started packing Bianca's things myself. She grabbed what she could and said she'd be back for the rest. Meanwhile, Nolan was dealing with his own drama. Jasmine had called him crying, saying he'd ruined her new relationship. The woman who'd cheated on him, left him for someone else, then moved on to someone new, was mad that he'd ruined things. Nolan texted me. She says I'm bitter and can't let her be happy. The cognitive dissonance is incredible. We started hanging out for real after that. Not romantically, we're both straight, but as friends. Turns out we have a lot in common beyond our terrible exes. We both like basketball, craft beer, and apparently have the same twisted sense of humor. 3 days after the dinner, Bianca showed up with a U-Haul and 3 friends to get her stuff. She was cold, acted like I was the villain. One of her friends actually said, "I can't believe you'd be so homophobic." Me. How am I homophobic? I literally pretended to date a man. That's the opposite of homophobic. Friend, you mocked their relationship. Me, I applied their exact logic to my own life. If that feels like mockery, maybe the logic is flawed. They cleaned out her stuff in 2 hours. Bianca took things that weren't even hers, the coffee maker we'd bought together, the Bluetooth speaker I'd gotten for my birthday, even the bloody bath mat. Petty till the end. The apartment felt empty, but peaceful. Like I'd exorcised a demon. Update 2, so things escalated in ways I didn't expect. Bianca and Jasmine became official on social media, posted couples photos with captions about living authentically and love wins. The comments were hilarious, half congratulating them, half asking, "Weren't you both in relationships like a month ago?" Then I got a text from an unknown number. It was Carla, Jasmine's ex who she'd cheated on Nolan with originally. "Carla, is it true Jasmine is dating someone named Bianca?" "Yes." "LMAO, she pulled the same shit on another straight girl? These women are predators, I swear." Me. Wait, what? Turns out Carla was never actually with Jasmine. They were friends. Jasmine developed feelings, and when Carla rejected her because she had a girlfriend, Jasmine told Nolan they were having an affair anyway. Let him believe it. Let him file for divorce over it. Carla only found out when mutual friends told her Nolan was going around saying she was a homewrecker. I screenshotted this entire conversation and sent it to Nolan. His response: "I need a drink. Actually, several drinks." We met up that night. Nolan was devastated all over again. He'd ended his marriage over a lie about an affair that never happened, only for her to have an actual affair with Bianca. But here's where it gets even wilder. My ex-coworker Reggie hit me up. "Yo, did Bianca really leave you for a woman?" "Yeah, why?" "Reggie, she tried to get her job back here. Listed you as a reference." Bianca had quit her job 6 months ago to focus on her art. She sold 3 paintings in that time. I'd been covering most of our expenses. Now she needed employment again and had the audacity to list me as a reference. When HR called, I was professional. Bianca worked here for 2 years. She was punctual and completed her tasks. I cannot comment on her character or recommend her for rehire. They got the message. Bianca texted me from Jasmine's phone. "Really? You're sabotaging my career now?" Me, I gave an honest reference. "Not my fault you quit your job assuming I'd support you forever." Bianca, "I left because the environment was toxic." "You left because you thought you could be an artist while I paid the bills. How's that working out?" She called me every name in the book. I blocked Jasmine's number too. Meanwhile, Nolan started going to therapy to process everything. His therapist told him the fake dating stunt was unconventional but effective at establishing boundaries. We both laughed about that for days. Final update. This is probably my last update because life has moved on in the best way possible. Nolan and I are legitimately best friends now. We have a standing Thursday basketball game, we've gone to 3 concerts together, and he's dating this sweet woman named Amara, who finds our whole origin story hilarious. I've started seeing someone too, Rebecca from my climbing gym, who knows the whole story and thinks it's iconic. But let me tell you how Bianca and Jasmine's story ended, because it's poetic. Last month, Jasmine slid into Nolan's DMs asking if they could talk. He screenshotted it and sent it to me immediately. She wanted to get coffee and clear the air. Nolan, being the better person than me, agreed. She showed up and basically tried to get him back, said Bianca was clingy and insecure and that she missed what they had. This woman really thought she could jump back to her ex-husband after everything. Nolan recorded the conversation, legal in our state, and sent it to me. The entitlement was astronomical. She actually said, "What we had was real. What I have with Bianca is just complicated." Nolan told her to lose his number. Here's the beautiful part. He didn't tell anyone about this meeting. Not even Amara. Just me. We decided to let it play out naturally. 2 weeks later, Bianca showed up at my apartment. I saw her on the doorbell camera and didn't answer. She left a letter. The gist: Jasmine had been distant. She suspected she was cheating, the irony, and she wanted to know if we could talk. She said she'd been doing a lot of thinking and realized she'd made a mistake. I texted her one word, no. She responded with a paragraph about how I was being immature and that real love means forgiveness. I didn't respond. Found out through mutual friends that Jasmine and Bianca broke up a week later. Apparently, Jasmine was texting her ex, Nolan, trying to reconcile, and Bianca found out. The explosion was nuclear. Bianca accused Jasmine of emotional cheating. I cannot make this up. And Jasmine told her she was being possessive and heteronormative. They're both single now, probably telling their next victims that their exes were toxic and didn't understand them. Meanwhile, Nolan and I have matching t-shirts that say it's not cheating if, with nothing after it. Amara and Rebecca think they're hilarious. We wore them to a basketball game last week and had to explain the story to like 10 people. The moral of the story? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When they tell you their affair doesn't count, run. And sometimes, the best revenge is just applying someone's own logic to their situation and watching them realize how stupid it sounds. Also, fake dating your ex's affair partner's ex-husband might get you a best friend for life. Would recommend. 1010. Nolan just texted me. Drinks tonight? Amara's bringing her friend who's single. Life's good now. Weird how the worst betrayal led to the best friendship. Bianca did me a favor by showing me who she really was, and inadvertently introducing me to my best bro. Peace out, Reddit. Thanks for following this weird journey.